Okay, off we go. So, welcome everybody to tonight's webinar. As you can see there, this tonight's webinar is all about building your customer base, and it's one of a series of 8. As you can see, that's number 3. 1 and 2 are really about getting started, just kind of getting you up to speed on the catalogue side and a little bit on the Facebook side, and things to do in your first few weeks as well as the retail. And then this is really, I suppose you might call it weeks 1 to 26, maybe after 3 to 6 months or whatever, building up a good customer base and so on. So you can see there that next week and then the week after we're going to start getting into team building, and then the last 3 weeks are all about the personal development side of it. So but these are all recorded. I'll explain right at the end where the recordings are held. So if you would really like to do some work on goal setting, for example, you don't have to wait till number 7. You can just go to all the recordings and watch it whenever you're ready. So, building your customer base. What are we going to talk about tonight? I'm going to explain what I mean by a customer base. And then I'm just going to ask the question and hopefully explain why customers order from you anyway. And then a bit about customer bonding, why the customers continue to order from you over and over again. Those of you who've been in the business for a little while will probably already have customers that order from you pretty much every time you put the catalogue through the door. And that's an amazing thing when that happens, and it's just as a result of a little bit of work you can do now to prepare for that. And the result of all of these customer bonding and the things that you can do is a base of loyal customers who will order from you again and again and again, and will continue to order from you even if other catalogues come through their letterboxes. So, quick question to everybody, and I know there'll be all sorts of different figures here, but if you could just type in just to give me a rough idea, have you got any idea off the top of your head how many Kleeneze customers you have? And I'm thinking both online, people who have ordered from you, and also from your catalogues. Anyone got any ideas? 25, Abu Bakr, well done. 23 there, that's good. I know Abu Bakr is quite new. Katrina, over 1,000. I know, Katrina, you do 2 different centres, don't you? Nam's got 15. I know Nam's just started. Shan, 600 not online, plus 80 through the catalogues. Myrna, 400. Dave Trowell, over 1,000. So, especially for you guys who have just started, Pete there, Nam, Abu Bakr, I know you've only just got 10, 20, 30, something like that, but hopefully you can see from these figures that there is a massive opportunity. But these guys who have got thousands and thousands have obviously just been in the business longer, and they just continue to build their customer base, because there's no rules as to how many catalogues you can deliver, how many houses you're allowed to deliver to. You don't have to stop when you get to 200 customers. You can continue delivering as many as you want. So let's see kind of how that customer base building typically works. And it's not an exact science, but it will give you a rough idea. So when you start off in your very first week, we all start off exactly the same. We've got 0 customers, a bunch of catalogues, and maybe an online account, a Facebook account, and lots of enthusiasm. I'm just going to kind of talk mainly about the catalogue side, but you'll get the idea. It's very, very similar on the Facebook side. The principles, obviously, it's kind of posting online to groups as opposed to posting your catalogues through letterboxes. But let's suppose each week you deliver 200 catalogues to houses near where you live, and maybe you get about 20 of them with orders. I mean, it's obviously going to vary. Sometimes you might only get 5 or 10, other times you might get more. But let's suppose you get 20 orders from new customers when you put those 200 catalogues out. Now, you're doing that 4 weeks in your first month, so 4 lots of 20 is 80 customers. So at the beginning of month 2, you might have about 80 customers if you've been putting your catalogues in and out and hitting 20 each time. So in your second time around, as you're going back to the beginning again, you deliver to those same houses, and 20 of the ones that you're delivering are to those customers who ordered from you the first time, and 180 are to other houses that didn't order from you the first time. Now maybe you then pick up some more new customers, because not everybody orders from you the very first time they see your catalogue. So the second time you see it, you get some more customers. Let's say another 10. So after you do that each week, you're delivering to 20 customers, and out of the other 180, you get another 10. And not all of the 20 that ordered from you the first time will order again the second time, but you will get new customers going back to those same houses. So at the beginning of month 3, you've got 120 customers now. So each week, when you're delivering your 200 catalogues, you'll be delivering around about 30 to existing customers who have ordered from you in the past, and 170 to other houses who haven't yet ordered from you. And then out of that 170, you will still get some new customers. People that didn't order from you in month 1 or month 2 will order in month 3. And it's just they start to get familiar with your name. They recognize the catalogue. They've got a bit more time to have a look at it. There are all sorts of different reasons. They just look at the front of the catalogue this time rather than the back of it, and they see something that they're interested in, so they have a browse through the catalogue. So all sorts of different reasons. So each week, another 10 customers. That means that by month 4, you've got 160 customers. Each week again, you're delivering 200 catalogues, and of those 200, about 40 to existing customers, 160 or so to houses that haven't ordered from you before. And again, you'll get a few more customers. Now, you can carry on doing this. After a while, after you've kind of done that, if you remember the 6x4 system that we follow, once you've got past about 6 months, you'll probably find that the number of catalog or the number of customers you get from houses that haven't ordered from you before starts to dwindle quite a lot. You might still get 1 or 2 orders, but if you're delivering 160 to 200 catalogues to houses that haven't ordered from you before and just getting like 1 new customer, it's probably then time to expand a bit and move to areas that you haven't yet been delivering to. But hopefully you'll understand the principle there, that each week each month rather, you're delivering to people who've ordered from you before and other people who have seen the catalogue but haven't yet ordered from you. But you're gradually building up more and more customers. So as you're going around, obviously anybody who says they don't want a catalogue, maybe they've already got a distributor, maybe they're just not the sort of people that like looking through catalogues. So cross those people off your list. There's no point in wasting your time or their time if they said they don't want another catalogue. As I briefly said earlier, after around about 6 deliveries to each house, cross off the people that don't order. Now there are a few exceptions. If you're going down like a cul-de-sac or something and you've got a house that's looked at the catalogue 3 or 4 times but haven't ordered yet, and it's right next door to a customer who's ordering from you, 2 or 3 times, then you might want to keep delivering to the house next door, because neighbours talk to each other and you never know, they might just order from you. But if you've got an area where you haven't had any orders at all and you've got lots of catalogues delivering to that area, it might then be time to move on to a new area to deliver those catalogues to new houses to find new customers. I would recommend that as you're building that customer base, that you try to place at least 1 order every week. And that might mean that you have to pay a delivery charge. Now, having said that, Kleeneze are now offering this facility called the dropship delivery. And as long as you don't abuse it, and what I would suggest is speak to your sponsor if you're not quite sure how that is. It basically allows you to get, as long as you've got an order of £50 or more, it allows you to get free delivery. But it's not to be used for, just to sort of save yourself a delivery charge by breaking up a £200 order into 4 small orders or something like that. It's Kleeneze you've offered it so that you can try and get your goods to your customers as soon as possible. And if you know that you're not going to be able to get enough orders in because you're unable to put your catalogues out or something for, say, another week to 10 days, then getting in a smaller order with a free delivery charge would allow you to get those goods to your customers quickly, without you kind of losing money over it. But even if you've got, say, £100, £120 worth, it might be worth putting that order in, because you'll probably still be making £20 to £30 profit on it. And if you're paying a £5.99 delivery charge, you're not losing out. And customers really, really appreciate that prompt delivery. I'm amazed at the number of times whenever I'm going to a new area that customers say, wow, that was really quick, when I'm delivering to them 3, 4, 5 days later. So that's a really great way just to build that start building that rapport with your customers, and your customers will obviously be happy to order from you again and again when they see how prompt you are with that delivery. So, depending on how much you want to earn, by month 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, however long you want to keep going, you could have up to, say, 800 customers. We've already seen examples here of people who have got over 1,000. And the other big thing that you'll notice is when you're delivering to your customer base, the average order per catalogue increases. When you first start off, it's typically between 50 pence and £1. You're obviously trying to find your customers. But as you get more and more customers, and you're delivering more of your catalogues to customers and fewer of them to people who are just looking, the average order per catalogue increases to 5, 6, 7. It's not unusual to see £10 per catalogue from a good customer base. And that's just fantastic because it's, for a similar amount of effort, you're earning far more than when you first start off. The problem for a lot of new distributors is it's difficult to see that. When you're working hard, covering a new area, and you're just getting 50p to £1 per catalogue, you feel like you're working really hard and not getting the results. But what you're doing is you're building this customer base. So stick with it because you will get the results if you persevere with that. And once you're at your customer base, there's all sorts of benefits. Apart from just the increased income and the increased orders, your pickups are a lot more stable. You get a lot fewer bad pickups where nobody's ordering from you because you're only delivering to the people who do order from you. And it becomes a lot more stable. You can pretty much predict within £100 or so. I know I always get about £400 from this order. A good week might be 500 or 600. A bad week will be 350. But you're getting a really reliable income from that retail then. So that's the kind of the stats behind it, if you like. Let's just explore that a little bit more. Can I just ask everybody, when you first started off, before you became a Kleeneze distributor, had you heard of Kleeneze? Abubakar hadn't. Anybody else? Anybody else hear of Kleeneze? Yep, Katrina had. I know I had because my mum used to order when I was at home. Yep, Pete had. Yep, Katrina was a customer. Dave was a customer there. So that's interesting then. So you get a Kleeneze catalogue through your door, and mostly people will have heard of the brand. And to be honest, when you first start off, that's why people buy from you. If you're just blanketing the catalogues, you're not presenting the catalogue to them, you're putting it through a letterbox. People have no idea, they've never even seen you. They come home from work or done their shopping, they come in and they see a catalogue on the front mat. People will buy from that catalogue simply because Kleeneze is a well-known and trusted brand. It was established in 1923, and I've said 90 years now. That's like Kleeneze have just had their 92nd birthday. So for 92 years, Kleeneze have been a known and trusted brand in this country. So that's why people buy from it, because they know it and trust it. But after a while, it changes slightly, and what happens is your customers get to know you and like you. So this is why it's really important to be reliable, going back every month, to be polite. You might have to apologise if there's an order that's been delayed or whatever, or if a customer wants to return something, that's absolutely fine. You're really there to support them and help them. Be friendly, and as I say, be helpful. And when they get to know you and like you, then it changes a little bit. What happens is they buy from you rather than from the catalogue. And it's kind of like, why do you go to your favourite coffee shop, or why do you go to your favourite pub? You can probably buy beer in all sorts of different pubs. You can certainly buy coffee in all sorts of different cafes. But you go to your favourite coffee shop or your favourite pub because they know you, you get to know the staff, you get to know the atmosphere, you get to know it, and you like it and you trust it. And it's exactly the same with your customers. So, how can you reinforce this kind of knowledge, this kind of customers getting to know you? Well, I talk about it as customer bonding, and this is really, really important. Quick question then, and some of you I know have heard this before, but what is everyone's favourite word? Anybody got any ideas? Yeah, their name, their own name, could be. Anybody else got any thoughts? Thanks. Yep, that's a good one now. But actually, I think Katrina and Abu Bakar might have seen this before. For most people, their favourite word is their name. The sound of their own name. People always like when someone comes up to me and says, "Oh, hi Chris, how are you?" You kind of feel special because they've taken the trouble to remember your name. So it's really, really important to make sure you know your customers' names. And the easiest way to do this is when they're writing out their order form, obviously at the top there, they'll write their name and address. So then copy their name from the order form onto your round book. As you're going round and you're writing the numbers of the houses that you're getting orders from, write their name in it. And write it down as they've written it on the order form. So if they write Mr. Smith, then obviously they prefer you to call them Mr. Smith at the moment, so you can write that down. But if they write Chris or Chris Smith, then write that down because they're basically saying, I'm happy for you to call me Chris. So write that down. And the best time to use it next, and your best opportunity, obviously when you go back to deliver their order to them, you can ring them up or pop round and say, "Oh, hi Chris, it's Nam from Kleeneze," or whatever. I've just got your Kleeneze order. So you get to know their name and they get to know your name. And then a few weeks later, when you're delivering your catalogue again, well, that's interesting. Little comment from Katrina there. Ian calls all the men sir. I bet that makes them feel special. That's very good. When you're delivering your catalogue, as you're going round with your round book, just check the name. As you're approaching the houses, check the names of your customers. And if you happen to see one of them, just quick cheery wave and say, "Oh, hello, Mrs. Johnson, how are you?" That's her name. And that goes a really long way because Mrs. Johnson is then thinking, "Oh gosh, that's that Kleeneze chap. I only saw him once about a month ago and he's already remembered my name." And it makes them feel special. So they'll remember you because you've remembered them and you remembered their name. And just use it every time. And what you will find, obviously depending on the area that you live, but I know for me, I'll see customers in the town, at the shops, in the pub, in different places, and because I remember their name, and sometimes it's a bit difficult when you don't see them on their doorstep and they don't see you, because they always see you in the same place. And then you're out in the town and you're thinking, "Oh gosh, I know that lady from somewhere." But believe me, over a period of time, you will get to remember their names and you'll see them and you say, "Oh, hi, Mrs. Johnson." And quite often I can see people looking at me thinking, "I know that chap from somewhere and I can't quite tell what." And so I usually say, "Oh, it's Chris from Kleeneze." And they say, "Oh, yes, hi, Chris, how are you?" And again, that's just building that little bit of rapport by showing them that they're special to you and you recognize them. The other thing is, when you're delivering orders or when you're calling them up to ask if it's okay to deliver an order, you will often find out a little bit about their family. So, "Oh, sorry, I can't take the order at the moment. We've just taken the dog down the vet's," or, "Oh, I've just got to go and pick up my kiddies from school," or whatever it might be. Sorry about that. So just make a note of that because then the next time you're going round or the next time you're delivering an order or calling them up or anything, it's a really good idea just to say, "Oh, how's the dog? I know you were around the vets a few days ago with it. Is everything okay?" So, just showing them again that you're caring about them and you're kind of taking in information about them, that kind of thing. So it's certainly worthwhile doing that because you then start to build up that rapport, which is really, really important. Another thing you can do is just looking out for special occasions. Whenever I see a set of cards in the window, going to deliver an order or something like that, you can often see cards on the windowsill. I always just sort of say, "Oh, is it somebody's birthday?" And often it's the customer's birthday, or it might be husband or daughter or whatever. But just make a little note when their birthday is, because if you want to get good at this, if you've got a list of customers' birthdays and a year later you drop a birthday card through when it's their birthday, you'd be amazed how over the moon they are. They'll be thinking, "How on earth do you know it's my birthday?" Because they won't remember a year earlier you asked them. But if you've made the effort to make a note of that, that would go an awful long way to building that rapport. Christmas cards are a great thing. I always do, in the last month or so leading up to Christmas, handwritten Christmas cards for all my customers. I usually just get the Kleeneze ones. Kleeneze do boxes of kind of 30 traditional Christmas cards or something like that. So you're kind of showing your goods as well. So people might say, "Oh, these are nice cards. I'll order some of those myself." But I just handwrite them, and it's worth planning ahead on this, because you don't want to be writing out. I mean, these guys have got over 1,000 customers. If you're trying to do 1,000 cards in a couple of days just before you start dropping them, you're certainly going to get a lot of hand cramp. But if you do it kind of in the weeks leading up, you know who your customers are, so you can do a few each day, and just prepare them. Then that again, I find you get a huge boost to your Christmas orders by popping a little card through, at the same time as a catalogue, but not actually in the plastic bag, just kind of plastic bag and card through at the same time. So even if they're not going to have a look at it this time, they'll see the card, open it up, see that they've got a card from you, and that often will lead to them looking through the catalogue and giving you an order. You can do all sorts of other things. Do Easter cards. My wife and I always do an Easter card for our customers as well. And a couple of years ago, my wife made these little, you can see a picture of them there, it's kind of like I can't know if you can tell, it's like a tray with little biscuits just with kind of chocolate covering over it and the number 90 written on them. So when it was our 90th anniversary, we just made some little packs up for our customers, just saying, oh, we're just celebrating Kleeneze's 90th anniversary, and thanks ever so much for all your business. Again, we got a great response to that. And one in particular, which I remember, was one elderly customer who said, oh, Chris, it was so kind of you. How did you know it was my 90th birthday? And I kind of explained, and we realised that she was born almost at the same time that Kleeneze started in 1923. So we had a good laugh about that. So, all of those things result in customers that know you, like you, and trust you. And if they know you, like you, and trust you, they're going to order from you again and again and again. And you will never lose them. If you're happy to keep talking to them and saying hello and getting to know them, you will be rewarded by this customer base that orders from you regularly. As I said, there are lots of regular orders from all of your customers. So, coming towards the end now, what did we cover today? So we talked about what is a customer base. So hopefully, I know some of you guys have been doing this for a little while, but for the new ones amongst you, hopefully it should just give you a good idea as to what is a customer base. Why they order from you when you start off, but how you change that so that they're ordering not just because it's a Kleeneze catalogue, but they're ordering from you because they know you and they like you and they trust you. And that customer bonding is really, really important. Okay, so that's the end of building your customer base. I hope that all made sense. I know I've really talked about the catalogue side primarily. The Facebook side is pretty similar, except that obviously you're not delivering catalogues to them, so you may not see the same, get to see the same thing of kind of just seeing them on their doorstep, or you might not see the cards in the windows, that sort of thing. But you can certainly build up rapport with your online customers by getting to know them, checking that everything's okay. Obviously, you'll meet them either when you deliver the order to them or when you collect the order, or when they collect the order from you. So you might have to work a little bit differently, but just trying to build that rapport so that they keep coming back from you. Yeah, Sean's made a great point there. Your group, obviously when you're advertising in other groups, then lots of other people are also selling things in those groups. But once customers are in your group, your if you like, character should come across. So you're putting little comments in there, the way you display the adverts, the wording that you use, how you communicate with your customers in that group is how you build that up. Aha, great one, Sean. So Sean saw, one of Sean's customers saw another rep advertise, saw the product, realised that it was the same kind of set of products as Sean had in her group, so then ordered from Sean, all because of that relationship she had. So that's fantastic. That loyalty just goes to show you can do it both ways there. Okay, I mentioned right at the beginning that all of these webinars are recorded, so I'm just going to stop the recording of this one now.